Good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in. It's now 1:10 p.m. and I am now preparing for the Summer Stitch Along 2023 crochet diagram. So I'm just here on camera with you today. And if you want to chit chat with me, you can go to the live chat and we can chit chat. So behind the scenes, what's happening is that all of my pattern is in diagram format that you see. And I'm converting the diagrams into the structure. So I tend to do all of these notes, and today on screen I'm going to do this. So I take an existing pattern. I don't know the physical name for this stuff yet. I'm just temporarily calling it study of odd stitches, and that's kind of where I'm going. So if you want to leave me some comments, you can chat with me. I'm just going to work methodically. It's kind of like a live chat and keeps me entertained too, because sometimes this can be boring. So I'm going to begin, and I'm going to just move some stuff out of the way that we normally keep. And the goal for this particular pattern is that it's actually a lot of repeating in the pattern itself. So there's not a lot of craziness to it. So we're going to begin. Yeah, so I'm going to copy this and take it over. And I'm going to have to create a center point for this thing. So we're going to do something like that and just kind of move it on over. So I need to create, one thing I've learned over the years is that I need to create center points here. So I'm just going to do that and then just copy and rotate. So we're going to just center them up and vertical line as well. I'm going to move these guys over. So if you want to chat with me, you're more than welcome to do so. I can see you on screen. And we're going to get ourselves started today. So what I do for design is that I don't design it through words. That's why there's always probably pattern mistakes in the words. So what I do is I design on graph format, and then I work on it through there. So we're going to make these as a guideline. So they're in the back. So here's the center point of my concept, and I'm not going to worry about any of the row numbers or anything or round numbers until I get further into this thing. I think we'll keep him out of the way. And we're going to keep the numbers out of the way as well. And I can leave the chain there. And so we're going to begin our journey. So we're going to get rid of stuff, and I can get rid of that. And we're going to center point this out. And I'm also going to create a circle. So if you want to chit chat with me, you're more than welcome to do so. Just don't be afraid. If you have any questions or general chat, you're more than welcome to do that too. Everything is all about spacing with these things. Green so I can see them. And I also have to start doing the round numbers. So let's just start doing layers. And layer one, we're going to say this is round one. Okay, this will all be moved to round one. Okay, so there is 12 points on the calendar here, so we're going to just do that. So 360 degrees divided by 12, and then I'm going to copy that around and Command D. So I don't worry about the chain one spaces. Oh, shoot. So I gotta lock the guides. Lock. Guides. Okay, we'll try that again. (360 degrees divided by 12. Copy. So Diane is first up today, joining us. Thank you so much, Diane, for coming on board today. And kind of seeing, you'll actually get to see what the summer stitch along looks like if you're following along. I have two diagrams here, but I'm not kind of sure which one is which. Okay, so we're going to go to round two next. Round two, we're going to be playing with chain. We're going to be playing with popcorn. So we're going to look for a popcorn over here. I'm looking for this one here. And we're going to bring it on back. And so the black always starts round number one, and Debbie is joining us also today. Thank you so much for coming on board today. And so I'm just moving that over, and this is round number two. So round number two, looking at my chart, has a chain one that separates it. So I'm going to copy this around first. So you have to move the center point of the shape to the center down here. And there's also 12 of those. So 360 divided by 12 and copy, copy, copy. One thing that I think I'm going to do with this one here before I go any further, I'm going to make that one smaller. I'm just going to drag it down. So you can change the heights of stitches pretty easily. So I'm going to do that. So what I want to do is I want to line up this one here and this one, and then go back to this one. And this one. And I want to line those up together. It's not where I wanted it. All right. Change it back to blue. So row number two has to be blue. I also don't like the top of this piece here, so I'm going to make that more narrow. Sometimes when you squat things, it doesn't look as good. Okay, so we're going to zoom back out and we're going to make 12 of those. So Ola Joe is here. She's working on the, or they're working on the All in the Family with Jeannie's pattern. We're going to rotate around. And there's 12 of those. So 360 divided by 12. Copy. Okay, and then there's chain ones that separate them. So we are going to get a chain. And we're going to make that happen. So I don't really have a name for this new blanket yet. I put out a message on the membership of the Crochet Crowd membership area for any ideas that we had. I have an idea, but I don't know if I'm convinced of it yet. But so it's all about balance, and people probably do not even care, but I care. So I'm going to draw a line, and I want to center this line with it. And the center point is there. Okay, and what's the problem? It's not blue. It needs to be staying blue. And now we're going to rotate that one. I'm knitting a baby hat for my granddaughter, says Diane. What else are people working on? So I know people are like, I haven't seen any new tutorials. I can't do everything. I'm just kind of working on my way. I'm going to on an Australian cruise. That's a crochet kind of event in less than a month. So I need to get this kind of stuff done. So there's 12 of those. So we're going to copy. And D. Okay, done. Okay, so we're now going to move on to the next one. And in every chain, okay, so the chain is in the wrong position. So what I want to do, it's in the wrong position because I want to balance this thing out. So I just want to rotate it so that the chain is in the middle. This is why I don't put the chain ones to start anything before I do anything. And I need some single crochets today. We'll go back over here. And the single crochets, there's 3 of them in each one of these spots. And I need to go to round number 3. Round 3. So is that a computer program? I would like to, it is, and it's an Adobe Illustrator. It's a drawing program. You have to draw everything by hand when you do it, and then I just paste and copy. Okay, so Debbie is working on a doll jacket. It sounds ambitious. And then what else are people doing? Richard is making a sweater here for a while. She just turned 85. Oh, visiting her mom. Okay, so I'm going to just so what I want to do, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to arrange, select, copy. And I want to equally space these out to each other. And I want to group them together, put them as a group. And I'm going to test it to see if it actually works. So the basket, yeah, it just went up today. The website got updated last night. The website got updated finally last night. So I didn't want to blog anything until I was done. Back to the center. So there's going to be 12 of these as well. So 360 degrees divided by 12. Copy. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Command D. So Rosie's saying hello, Jets here in the house. And somebody's working on the second kitty couch. Oh my God, Jilly. That's ambitious. Okay, so round number 4. So let's make a new round. Round 4. So round 4 is going to be V stitches with chain 1s in between them. Don't think I have anything like that, but I think I can grab that one. Rotate the chain using the vertical of the base. Sorry, I write notes for myself. So we're going to go over here. Do you have to only pay for this program once, or do you pay? I pay monthly. I pay, I think, $300 a month for it. Or is it? I think it's 500. I think it's 250. But I get other programs with it, so it's not just one thing. But that's Canadian dollars too. Okay, so we're going to do that. So we're going to get rid of that out. And then I'm going to group this together, group. And I want to see how much space I have in between. So there's going to be 12 of these as well. 360 degrees divided by 12. Copy. Okay, and then what's missing is the chain. Need another chain here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take and hide the other layers. Shoot. So there. Oops. Okay, so I think that this is at the wrong angle for me, so I'm going to rotate it again. So I try to use the verticals as much as possible for alignment reasons. And now I'm just going to fit this in. And this has to be blue. So I'm dreading, I love diagramming, but I dread writing the patterns. It's where I screw up the most. Okay, I'm gonna rotate. And there's 12 of those too. So 360 degrees divided by 12. Copy. Okay, so now what do we have? So the real sample is actually behind me here. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 pieces. So I have 4 trebles, and they're all going to be in the, so I'm going to rotate again. And I need some double crochets and I need some singles. Okay, so we're now going to do Oops. So I need 4. I'm going to just space out 4 of these. Just see if I have something else. I can probably grab that one. Get rid of these ones out. So I can use that one instead. So I got 4, and then I'm going to do okay, and then we're going to get rid of this guy here, and then we're going to reflect him. These diagrams. So what's intimidating, Rosie, about these diagrams? What is your hang up with them? I used to be an automotive designer before this job, in my late teens and also my early 20s. So for me, this is like reading blueprints. So because I'm not a strong reader and I'm not the smartest guy that you'll ever meet, these diagrams make a lot of sense to me because I don't need to read the words in order to understand them. But again, I'm kind of unique in that sense. I'm going to just kind of make him a little bit lower. And put them together like that. And I kind of want the tops to kind of lean into each other so it looks like it belongs. And I'm going to get rid of these guys and I'll reflect these guys over. So I have some magical stuff to do with this, so I don't want these to be too big. So I'm going to, so there's 4 double crochets. And 2 singles. And that's it. So we're going to group those together and rotate those around. So group. So is anybody else intimidated by this stuff? Now learning the program, now that's intimidating. This program was a son of a bitch to learn. But once I got it, but it took years. So there's 12 of these guys too. Copy. Okay, now there's going to be 4 chains and 2 double crochets, or 2 singles. So I need single crochets. Probably was terrible. I was terrible at math, and it reminds me of math class. That's legit. Oh my God, I cried in math class. I don't know how many times. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This was round number 5. 5. So once I get these done, I send them over to Yarn Inspirations to go with the pattern. Okay. Okay, round 6 is next. It has to be blue again. Blue. So what else are people up to? The weather's been crazy warm here, like crazy warm. It's been crazy. Okay, so we're gonna do two of these. When you have a copy of it, are you going to place it, or does the when you have the copy, are you placing it, or does it? Oh, I am placing it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The program's placing that. It is placing it based on the circumference of the circle. So I'll show you how I do it in a second. So I need 2 of those, and then I need 4 chains. So we're going to grab some 4 chains. So everything is pretty much manual placement unless I do a rotational that requires an idea. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to group these guys here. And just in case you're interested. So what I do is that I select them and then I click the rotate tool. Do you see how this little bleep comes up here? I have to move it. And that's the center point of that shape. And I move it to the center. So now, therefore, that is the center. And then I click it. Let's try it again. I rotate. I move the center point down. So there, and then there's 360 degrees divided by 12 points of the clock. And then I copy it. And then I'm copying it around. So I'm doing that because I want to see where this chain 4 goes into place. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to move the chain 4 out of the way, and I'm going to rotate the whole shape again. And I'm rotating it so that I can get the center point of that. It's just a rough guess. And I'm going to move these guys back in and see where they go. And I want this to have a little bit of shape to it. Did architectural diagramming way back in the day before computers. This is easy stuff. Yeah, I started learning engineering when it was all done on paper. And then the computers came along when I was in college. And so then we had to start learning how to do that with AutoCAD. Okay, so I feel like that's not balanced. I'm going to try to rebalance that. So anyway, so I had to learn both ways. And I feel like it's a little low. And what's the problem? It's the wrong color. Okay, I'm okay with that. So we're going to take that and copy that too. So we're going to group it and rotate it around. And there's 12 points of those, the 12 are 360 degrees divided by 12. And copy that around. Okay, so now we are gonna now do fun stuff. So now we have 7 single crochets in the chain space here. I'm gonna rotate that just slightly. Okay, so we're gonna do that. So we need 7 single crochets. So I'm gonna just grab some fresh ones. I'm gonna drop it in. And we need round 7. And I also need some those are trebles, so I need some trebles. Okay, so I think I'm going to push in the trebles first. So the trebles are going to be on the top here. This goes to round 7. Okay, so now let's take a look at what we're going to do here. So round 7 connects to there. So they share the same top and they're going to be single crochet. So I need to put in a single crochet so I can see the height to match the height. And we're going to shape that to there. Okay. We're going to reflect him. He should be the same on the other side. So we're going to reflect and copy. Mikey, are you remembering to separate the rounds and the layers? Yep. Yeah, I have been doing that. Thank you, though, because... Okay, so what's the problem here? Do you see how this... I do not like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bend this line so that it doesn't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend a line. So that it doesn't go over top of the stitches. So now it's in between. And we're going to move. Right about there. My mom struggles with the time warp as a name, with this black center fading through the shades, the gray to the white edge. Struggles with the time warp as a name. Oops. So that one's gone, and now we just need to reflect this line right here. Range, reflect it, copy it, and move it. And I'm also going to take these guys here. And I'm also going to reflect it. Okay, so now I have to get how many points now there is. Let me just get my calculator. I got 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So there's 8. 12. There's 96 points. That green line, I'm going to move up now. I'm going to just put these guys together. Group. So I'm going to just space this one out so I can see it better. So I'm going to just rotate that one around. And I just want to rotate it once so I can see what it looks like. So there's 12 of these as well. So 360 degrees divided by 12, copy, Command D. So we'll just do that. So now the single crochets, there's going to be 7 of them. Let's rotate and put them in the center. So there's 96 points, right? So we know this is the right angle. So I'm going to take that one and rotate it around. And there's 96 points. So 360 degrees divided by 96 points. Copy. Command D, 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 D. So that one's gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 7. So the only problem is I need to rotate this so it's not touching. And I can move that one too, just slightly. Okay, I'm good. Now that I did that, I don't know if that makes sense. I find myself not breathing when I do this stuff because I'm so concentrated on it. And I'm joking on that I have no oxygen. And does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're going to get rid of this guy. And this one out. Still on round 7. So we're going to, yeah, we'll take the big boy out. Okay, so we're going to group these together. Group. Now let's spin these around. So there's 12 of these points, so 360 degrees divided by 12. Copy. Okay, so we got number 7 done. Okay, so now we're going, okay, we're already in the right spot. So let's do round number 8. Round 8. And we need some double crochets. There's 3 of them. Change the color to blue. And let's put him back on round number 8. And I have that one. That's just a shape I'll be using again in the future at some point, I know. So I might as well take that one out, put this one in. And change it to blue. So this used to be really tedious, but I've gotten better at it, honestly. So I'm thinking that I want this whole circle to look like the same size. So I'm thinking I want the same height. So these angles have to be matching. They can't just reflect like that. Okay, so we have, I got to calculate how many pieces that I have in this. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 12. I think it's 96 again. So I'm going to rotate him. 360 degrees divided by 96 points. Copy. So now I'm going to do a single crochet front post around this one here. So he has to be blue. So I'm going to make the whole stitch height the same as everybody else. So we got that, and then so I can see that. Rotate everything again. So I'm just making sure that the spacing stays equal to each other. Okay, and now I'm going to move these guys down. Oops. So usually these kind of things, Yarn Inspirations does the diagram work, but of crochet, I love doing this the most, if you can imagine. So the crochet is fun, but this to me is even funner. So I skip this stitch, out, out, out. I'm just gotta reflect these guys. I think I'm having a hot flash. Jesus. Okay, there we go. Done. Do you ever design in your sleep? Not really. I do think of stuff, but I don't remember by the time I wake up what exactly I did. Story of my life. I did have an epiphany last night. I am doing a collaboration. Shh. Yeah, he's concentrating. So I have a collaboration coming up in November with Tiffany Hansen. So I had an epiphany in my sleep last night. So I still remembering it. So it's still pretty fresh in my mind. I can't seem to get that damn center line to work out. The problem with these designs, when they get bigger like this, they're harder to get that center point. I know. First world problem. And I need 12 of these. So 360 degrees divided by 12. And copy. D. Here we go, done. It's artwork on its own, honestly, it's so cool. Let me just pull out my nipples and rub them really good. Okay, so let's go on to round number 9. And I'm creating my layers like a good boy. This old dog sometimes learns new tricks. Okay, oh shit, I'm going to a square. Okay, so we need some back post. Is it back post? Yeah, back post single crochets and back post double crochets. Okay, so what do I need to do here? I need to get myself to a square. And the middle of the square is where is a single crochet. So I need to rotate this thing so a single crochet is in the square. Like that. And now I need to get to a square. So I'm just going to draw a square and see how it goes. And I will make the square green. Okay. Now this is the center of there, so I need to get to the points. Hang on a second. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go to a square, and this is when it gets tricky. So I want to position my back post in first. Okay, and now I know the height. And we're going to put that onto round number 9. And these guys are black. Okay, so we need to know, what do we need to know? So we need how many points? We need, so we have 96 points. 96 points minus okay, so what do I got to do? I got to get 96 points. And there's chain 3s. Sorry, I'm just struggling a bit. I'm trying to think about how I'm going to do that. It's one thing to do it in the sample. It's another thing to actually diagram it out. So, okay, let's just say I have 3. That takes me to the middle of that. Oh, that's right. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got that. And now this one is one of these. But let's just place in those. Okay, so now I have trebles to go in. Okay, got that. So the corners are in the trebles, so there's going to be trebles. So I am feeling that this is too far out. So I'm going to shrink down and make it a little bit more narrow. Reposition. the squares at the corners are a little bit too far out to my point of view. So once in a while, I get people say, "Can you do a quick diagram for something for them?" I'm like, right. It can be a little bit slow, other than your host today. Okay, so my problem is that I have to get only 2 chains in there. Damn. Crap. Going to the square is one of the hardest things I try to do on these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 25 spots. And 5. Oh, my square is off. Son of a believe. Okay, so there's where my stitches are supposed to be. This is MS Paint. This is Adobe Illustrator. There are cheaper versions of the programming, but this doesn't. But you need this kind of program for what we're doing. I find especially in this world, the cheap, you get what you pay for. So now I'm going to shift these guys. So as much as it's nicer to have cheaper stuff, sometimes it just doesn't work. So chain, chain, chain. So this one just goes to here. So chain, 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 this one here. Now I'm going to place my chain and see how it goes in. So yeah, I can see that the chains are not balanced. Right there. So if that is the right balance, then for these chains, I'm going to put them together, group. Get rid of these guys out. So then he goes out. Do people make these by hand on graph paper before computers? I do, for sure. I am actually reading my graph paper. So I'm not just coming up with this, and the sample is actually sitting behind me. Sometimes I draw on computer, but here I started this one when I was with my stitch night. So I took my graph paper in with me. So we know that these guys are out of alignment. So we're going to drag them over. Drag again. I'm still learning. I hope these aren't dumb questions. Oh, hell no. No, of course not. It's how you learn, right? It's when you wave your head up and down, you have no idea what's going on. I had a great teacher. Well, I had several great teachers growing up, but we went to Ottawa for our parliament government, which I think would be the equivalent of Washington, D.C. Anyway, so we met our local MP there, and anyway, he said to us, he says, a stupid person is a person that doesn't know the answers, but is just shaking their head up and down and agreeing with everything they're saying without thinking. And he said, a smart person is one to know when to ask questions and how to ask the questions. Kind of always stuck with me. It was a grade 8 trip to Ottawa, which a lot of Canadian kids end up going in grade 8 to Ottawa to see the parliament and to understand politics to a certain degree. And then I've been to Ottawa, I think, a couple times as an adult. Okay, so I think that's right. So I'm supposed to have 1 space, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's right. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take these guys out. I'm going to move this guy up bigger. Okay, so what's the problem here? The problem is I should line these guys up better. These diagrams are they're fun to do. Actually, I enjoy doing the process of it. Okay, so we're currently not on the right round. It's supposed to be on round number 9. Oh, okay, he's on a different round. So I'm going to now do a copy in the square. So we're going to push these all into the same layer. We're going to, are they all the same color? No, they're supposed to be black. They are. Okay, we're going to group these together. And now we're going to do a rotational. and there's only going to be 360 degrees divided by 4 sides. Copy, and D. And now that is there. I'm going to add another layer, round 10. And round 10, we're using different size stitches. So round number 10, we're using the whole gamut of stitches. So we need all of them. They need to be blue. So we knew based on the last round, just gotta find a place to put these guys. So we know that there is a total of 25 stitches. Let me write that down. So we need to do 25. So there was 25 stitches between the corners for round number 9. And in round number 10, there is going to be there's only going to be 22 stitches in between. So $22. Okay, so that's how in the hell I got 20. I was trying to think this last few days. I'm trying to like, how in the hell did I get an even number on these things? Because I don't usually get even numbers. I can think now that makes sense. Okay, so let me just the first. Okay, so these guys are going to be there, and there, and there. And then the corners are squares. So I think I have a problem. I know I have a problem. These guys I should have almost went into a semicircle. So if that goes there, So what my problem was is that when I designed, it went to a square. My problem that I had is that the next round has different height stitches, so it wasn't prepared to go to a square. It wasn't ready. Okay. So this is all garbage. Okay, we're going to give that a try and see how that works out. That's better. So we determined that there was 22 spots right between. And so there is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Do that to round 10. So there is only 22 spots. There's the stitches there. 22. So these guys are all equally spaced from each other. Okay, now we got some half double crochets to play with. So the goal is to have the top layer equally spaced from each other, and just point the bottoms to where they need to go. It makes the design a lot easier to follow. We got double crochets. There's no trebles here, there's only doubles. So it looks like we're getting our heating fixed tomorrow. It's been on the mend for several months. I placed several calls to our preferred plumber, and he just never returned our call over a 2-month period. So I said, screw it, I'll have to find somebody else. So I had a friend give me a referral for somebody else. So got a hold of him yesterday, got the parts ordered, and they're here tomorrow to finally fix it. So I really don't know why the other person wasn't returning phone calls, but who knows? They're probably pretty busy. I would assume so, but so I don't want to make up stories that it's another reason other than that. So our whole house has in-floor heating, so the heating is actually through the floor, not through blowing air. So it kind of complicates everything when something breaks down. So the water pipes are going through the floors. So the heating elements are kind of fried. So I think they're 11 years old. So I think it was So they need to be replaced. So the whole unit has to be unplumbed before the heating elements can be replaced. So always some drama going on. So we have 22 stitches done. Let me just verify the count before I get too carried away. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And we're going to move these guys out of the way. Move him out of the way. Put these guys together. It should all be blue. And they should be grouped. So they're not going to take apart the floors. They just got to replace the heating elements. There's 4 heating elements in the system and 2 of them are broken. So anyway, apparently 1 broke last year, but we had a guy in, but he never said anything about it. So anyway, so it blew again in the beginning or at the end of November. And so anyway, they noticed that it was a different person, but they noticed that it was broken. So anyway, so I made the call to the plumber and no phone calls returned. So it's kind of frustrating, but okay, so there's 4 units, so 360 divided by 4 pieces of the pie. They should at least return a phone call. Totally understand that. Okay, so that was round number 10. And then number round number round number 11 is next. It's double crochets. So I'm going to end week 1 on round number 12. I think that's my goal. Let's do another line up. So hopefully people like it. I think people like my stitch alongs. I'm actually pretty proud of them. So I did my first sampler for people that care. I did my first sampler back in 2014, but I didn't know how to write patterns. And so anyway, I took it to a show with me and I said, look, this is something I did. And people are like frothing at the mouth. Oh, I want the pattern. I want the pattern. It's like, oh my God, there is no pattern because I don't know how to write patterns. And anyway, long story short is like, so I became part of Yarn Inspirations and they asked me for a design and I'm like, well, I can't really design much. So I did a design and one of the designers took my design and converted it into written instructions. And so I kind of felt like it was the lazy way to go to do that. And so I kind of felt bad about that. And so what I decided to do is take the pattern that I did in 2014 and try to convert it to a written instruction. The problem is I free-formed a lot of it because, you know, I was making it up as it was going. And anyway, I noticed that it was misshaping, so I threw in some extra stitches here, there, everywhere. And so I said I'd like to try and do a summer stitch along. And I said I have an idea in my head, but I don't know if it can work. And anyway, the study of texture was the very first study we ever did. And it was really neat. And so anyway, it was, so I did a first section of it, which turned out okay. And just hang on a second, 22 plus 4, 26 stitches. So anyway, so the study of texture was actually the very first major texture thing that I did. Anyway, it was quite a journey and a half, actually. And there was actually, so I did the video work and I launched it, and there was several mistakes within the pattern. But because I'm so new at designing, it was kind of a pain in the ass. And anyway, so then you get people like, why do you never test your patterns? I was like, F you, you know, I was like, you're lucky you're getting a design at this point, because I was so new at it. And anyway, so anyway, the pattern ended up being revised, I think, like 4 times. And so it kind of almost turned me off of designing to a certain degree, because I couldn't seem to get things to work. And it was a bit of a struggle. So I sometimes think people have an unrealistic expectation on things. So some genius on Facebook says, oh, the crochet crowd never tests any of their designs. I'm like, you know what, whatever, you can kiss my, you know, accidents happen, right? So anyway, so we I think people just like to assume crap. You know what I realized? I realized after I did that, look what I just did. And what's the problem? It's too high. So I think I'm going to lower that down a little bit. It's a little too far from the height. Are you serious? No, you're not serious. Oh, you were not serious. Well, that one works. You piece of crap. So Wanda says, so my goal is for people to learn the diagram work. I don't understand this nonsense. What is going on? Yeah, my goal is for you people to understand, to learn to read patterns. It keeps me employed that you don't know how to read patterns, but I think the world is small in retrospect, and there's so many great designs out there. So these lines here, they should be adjustable, but they're not. You can't move the angles. It might be just the way that I formed the double crochet. Eventually they begin to line up, but not right at the moment. See, I should be able to move that angle. Not like that, but I should be able to do that. I feel like having one of those moments from Aaron Brockovich when she sees the cockroach in the sink. Oh, and what's the famous quote there? I got cockroaches the size of house cats living in my house. So I actually really like that movie. I'm not a Julia Roberts person, but she did a good job in that movie. And I'm not and I should say I'm not a celebrity follower. I have nothing against her, but I don't really care what happens with celebrities. I just don't care. Just they have a lifestyle and level of expectation that I don't live by. So I don't have a sense to want to follow their drama. Everybody seems so bent out of shape about Harry and Meghan. I don't even understand why, because their lives do not affect us in any way. He gave away his title like how many years ago? Whatever. And to think that the royals don't already have privilege is beyond me. So I don't understand it. Who knows? Not my problem. I did watch the documentary though. I was more curious about communications and stuff. So my family's from Britain, if you didn't know that already. So I was kind of curious because I've been to Buckingham and whatever. So, curious catches the cat. I did see a kind of a sad meme though. It was with Diana holding baby Harry and says the palace takes care of the heir and she takes care of the spare. And I thought, oh my God, that's kind of actually really sad. But there's probably truth to that. Yeah, more yarny things. Oh yeah, so Daniel was watching a horror movie the other night. It was called Fall. It's on Netflix. Oh my God. I thought I was gonna have a rang. Anyway, I don't even know when I became afraid of heights, but it's stuff like that on TikTok and stuff. I can't even handle watching a host like hanging off a ledge or selfie sticks while they're on rides, like way up into the clouds. Oh my God, just makes me want to just vomit. Somebody says they saw all the flowers and it was very moving. I bet it was. So I was married when Princess Diana died. See, that one I can move. I was married and I remember the news when it went down. It was like, we saw the news happen in real time. And my wife was devastated. So my wife actually met Princess Diana at the Children's Sick Kids Hospital when she was doing a co-op placement because she was in ECE, she had daycare there. And anyway, so she said she's really quite pleasant. So she took it really quite hard. And And once I kind of got an understanding about the magazines chasing her and stuff, I vowed that I would never buy a tabloid or anything like that, and I honored that. So any garbage that I read online right now, I don't really have any basis for understanding it, because I just don't care, because I just don't believe what I read. And it's all about the pictures, the mad faces. Oh my God, she's so pissed off with so-and-so. Meanwhile, it might not even be true. So anyway, I kind of made a vow to myself not to follow that garbage. And it can be argued that, Diana was also playing with the media for her own intention, which is fine. But I think it's a symbiotic relationship there. But, once you advocate your role in your throne, you should be able to be left alone. And that's just the way I feel. But who knows? I'm not even going to be in that kind of position ever in my life. So again, I really don't care. Okay, so that's that one. Let me verify that there's actually 26, right? We talked about 26. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26. So the next one will take us to 28 stitches. Okay, so let's just do, that was round number 11. So you think that tabloids became, yeah. So I never did the boy bands either. My wife was actually the actual, you know how they used to do the fan clubs? My wife was actually the fan club the fan club responder for Blue Rodeo, if anybody remembers that. So whenever I hear that, I think of my wife. But so at the time, because it's before the internet, people would send letters and stuff to Blue Rodeo, the band. It's a Canadian band. Ended up becoming quite popular for a bit. And so anyway, so she would go all the way to Toronto just to pick up the mail. And then she would be so when the band was responding, it would be her. So she would sit on her bed at nighttime and respond to the mail. And it was pretty dark. A lot of people suicidal and stuff that she ended up running into. And it was pretty heavy. But anyway, so she is actually in one of the Blue Rodeo music videos as well, right in the front row. So this guy here. So anyway, so she would have to grab, like, I don't know how many buses. So she lived in an area and had to take buses all the way to downtown Toronto just to pick up the mail. So she wasn't even paid for it, but she would just go all the way down, collect the mail, and then go all the way back. And then she'd send the mail from her house. And she just loved it. She thought it was great. And so if a letter was compelling enough, she would send like shirts and whatever else memorabilia that they had. So I've only been to ever 2 concerts in my life. One was Air Supply, so don't even judge me on that one. My wife and I actually had a good time with that. And the other one was U2. So I'm not a concert goer either. I'm not a very exciting person. I just like to stay home and crochet. Okay, so we got one more row to go, or one more round to go, and then this week 1 would be done for the stitch along. So I need some back posts. I need back posts, and I need some shit. You know, Jeannie just did a really good idea. She did an extended single crochet. Let me just, I need to email somebody. Oh, sorry, I'm reading email while I'm here. Okay. Just going to do a quick Google search. Somebody just said it's like a spike stitch foundation there. Oh, there it is. It's with the circle underneath. Okay. So let's make an extended single crochet. It's got a chain. group. This is fun. This is a puzzle. People do puzzles. I do this. Maybe I'm just going to save my work. Now we're going to drag that over. I'm changing something in my design right on the fly here. Let's do another layer. Round 12. And then we need some back post double crochets. I finally have remembered the angle of these. It took me all these years. I finally clued in last month what it is. Okay, so we got that. So we said that there's going to be, make him taller. Around 12. These guys are going to be blue. A couple chains. So we got that. And 10 inches of snow is in the forecast. Where do you live, Jilly? Western Wisconsin. Apparently I don't say Wisconsin properly, just so you know. I get corrected on that by people. You don't say Wisconsin right. I'm like, I don't care. Sounds right to me. I was watching a documentary last night on Mobile, Alabama, but I think they call it Mobile. But whenever I see it, I always think Mobile. We determined where it was 28 stitches. When you chart, do you see the stitches in your mind? Yes and no. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I see the finished design. So you just have to add color, right? So there's 28 stitches, so that there's 26 stops, and blend. So there's the stitches there. So I'm going to align the base of these because it's easier than moving all those little hooks. Then these guys are all the same distance from each other, so you can just copy them. So somebody is in Alabama. They're from Mobile. I say Wisconsin, like I didn't. Oh, people tell me I say it wrong all the time. It's. I got to think how to say it properly. There's something about. I always say it's Wisconsin, but it's not supposed to be Wisconsin. I can't even do it. Somebody sent me a box of Canadian foods last week. What is Canadian foods? What would you classify? Ketchup, chips? In Birmingham. And then apparently Louisville. I don't say that right either. Louisville, I think it's Louisville. But my instinct is to call it Louisville. Shoot, you can always tell when somebody's from Louisville, the way they say it. So even here, the names of our towns are not enunciated the way they look. I'm in the town. I'm in the village. I actually live in the village, but I'm in the village of Greenwich. But if you looked at the spelling, it would be Greenwich. But it's, and then the closest little town for us is called Wolfville, if you say it the way it sounds. But it's Wolfville. Like it's probably like Mobile, Wolfville. So probably ketchup, chips. Yes. How about Smarties? The real Smarties. Those are Canadian as well. And it's not like the Rockets. They're Smarties of chocolate covered hard candy. Very good. Terrible for you, but really tasty. I used to work at a call center, get corrected all the time. Yeah, people like to correct people. Don't correct Wendy though. She'll know where to put you. Wendy and I think a lot alike though. I just checked my shirt to see if I was wearing my shirt, my special Wendy shirt. The KD mac and cheese. Canadian foods is something like Canadian bacon. Yeah, I don't know what makes it Canadian bacon. I have seen that before, Canadian bacon. I don't really know what that is. And Gina says she's from Kentucky, Louisville. Louisville. Passion flaky is also Canadian. I'm not allowed to have that stuff. Daniel, when I met him, he's more of a foodie. So I had to eliminate like the canned peas and corn and all that stuff. And which would be in the idea of passion flakies and half moons and everything. So I'm not allowed to buy any wrapped food desserts like that. Joe Louis, wagon wheels, all those kind of stuff. I know my life's over. And yet the boy can like barrel down a chocolate bar, no problem at all. And that seems to be okay. Not that I'm having issues. And the maple cookies, yes. I think when does that happen? Is that March or April that we have the maple syrup? That's a really big to do here. I don't know if so much in Nova Scotia, but it is definitely in Ontario and Quebec. It's not Quebec, it's Quebec with a K. Quebec. This is the tedious part of the damn programming. And the price of bacon, don't even get me started on that. Daniel was at the grocery store yesterday. A pair of steaks, 2 steaks is $64. So, $64. A turkey was $72. So anyway, there goes any kind of Christmas dinner that you want. So you just got to buy what you can afford. But it's pretty scary times. We don't eat out as much as we used to either. We just don't. So Alice is going to have a dessert for me. That's great. Eat away. The funniest thing, and I'm gonna just be very blunt here. Some of you may take offense. I don't think Americans realize how good they have it on costs of stuff. It just floors me when I go to places like Walmart in the US, and it's like, holy cow. Just absolutely, even with the currency exchange, it just blows my mind. Even the cost of gas. Oh my God. But I know if you're in the US and you've never seen anywhere else, then you would think it was expensive, but Jesus, just shocking. So for me, I'm not paying attention to the gas pricing. I'm paying attention to the diesel. The diesel in American dollars was up to almost $8 to $10 a gallon in the summertime here. And you know what? You pay for it in the groceries. And yet the US is complaining about $5. I'm like, oh my God, which is still high. But it's like, holy cow. And then the diesel all dropped during Christmas, but anybody that works in trucking knowing that things don't move at Christmas time because most people are off. So it goes cheap while nobody's in motion, and then it jacks itself back up as soon as the workforce starts again. It's terrible. The other thing that's going to be coming that people are not even aware of is that China has been closed because of COVID. So there is going to be a huge supply chain issue for us in the very late spring and summer. You watch, you can quote me. It's why it happened before, why the shelves bared out, because China and all those countries were shut down at the same time. And so the cargo ships are like almost like 45 days out. So you're gonna see the shelves empty out. You watch. So I'm really paying attention to the diesel. That's my point in all that. Because you're going to pay for it even regardless, one way or another, because of the trucking. During COVID, Daniel wanted some plants, some trees. They wanted $18,000 to ship, I think 5 skids from Oregon over to us. $18,000. So anyway, needless to say, he canceled his order. Okay. Okay. So this is be the end of week number 1 on a stitch along, if it was ever done. Group. Well, now I know the symbol for extended single crochet. Jeannie came up with that. I was like blown away by it. Just absolutely, it was such a good idea. Never even thought of it. Never even knew about it, really. And that's going to be in 4 pieces. Okay, so there you go. It's week 1 done. Okay, so we have to take a look at what's going on in here. So we got halves. There's probably going to be that eventually. These are popcorn. So that's going out. What else do we got? Don't have that. We do have a single crochet that we don't need. We got back posts. We also have that together with it. We have these guys too. Trebles. Don't think there's anything else in there. The extended single crochet. Yes, you're right. Thanks. I forgot about that one already. We got them all there. Okay, I did this in August last year. I know. I know. What good sign? Okay. Okay. I know. I know. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I just finished writing out the first portion of it. Wendy's kind of right. Like I just need to concentrate on the counting. After this is done, it has to go to our testing team to be able to test it out. And we have some really good testers, so that is much appreciated. And yeah, so that's going to be our next step. So as the week goes on, what is it, Wednesday? I have to keep on doing this and making the diagram. So I have all the weeks figured out on the sample, plus more crochet diagrams that I have already done. So I think I invented this stitch right here, which I think is kind of fun. And yeah, so I decided to do kind of crisscross. So everything is crisscross right to the very end. So crisscross, criss, and criss. And so it could be the study of crisscross for all I know. And yeah, so that's about it. And I'm going to let you go. It's now 5 o'clock my time. It's stitch night tonight. I'm not sure if I'm up for it, but we'll see how it goes. And that's it for now. Time for some chocolate or something, but we don't have any though. Have a good one, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.